when we had our baby Mark, and he was 28 weeks when he was born, and we didn't know there was any issues. We had no idea there was any issues. This has been our 7th child. All the others were born healthy, big babies. We always had big babies, healthy babies, over 8 pounds, 9 pounds. Our biggest weight at 10 pounds something. We just had healthy kids. So on our 7th, we were not expecting any trouble. Well, long story short, 28 weeks into it, we had trouble, rushed to the hospital, and so forth there. The baby was born, taken and flown to a hospital. My wife was, at that point, we were losing my wife. She was internally bleeding. They didn't know why. They couldn't stop it. And anyway, long story short, what should have been just a 45-minute C-section ended up being 2-3 hours. And they came out and said, we've put so much blood into your wife. We're giving her plasma. We've tilted the table to where the blood's not rushing from her brain. We don't know what's going on. We're not sure why she's bleeding. We don't know. They basically just put the gauze inside, sewed her up, and said, we'll take it out later. We don't know what to do. Went right to ICU. Thank God for doctors. I'm like, oh man, what do we do? Saved her life. But they don't ever want to let go. And then as she begins to get better, they say, oh, and now she needs these medicines. And they started giving her medicines. And the next thing you know, her kidneys start shutting down. My wife's never had bad kidneys. Like, what's going on? She was a healthy woman, just having a baby. Now her kidneys are failing. They want to do all these different things. They want to go in and put a stent and start draining it. And then they want to have this port. And then next thing you know, they're sitting there, they're talking about that. They said, oh, no. Now she's having blood clots on her lungs. I'm like, my wife never had blood clots. Where are the blood clots coming from? Oh, take this medicine. Now they're giving her this medicine, and this medicine, and this medicine. And we went from this floor of the hospital to that floor of the hospital, back to this floor, to this floor. We were on every floor of the hospital. They kept moving her around. And I'm like, this is a healthy woman, just had a baby. Now my wife's knocking on death's door. And finally they said, we want to have surgery tomorrow. It's an emergency. Her kidneys, and she was swollen. She couldn't move. And finally I said, can you give me a list of the medications she's taking? And I looked at them. Everything she had was a side effect of the medicine. This medicine will cause kidney failure. This medicine will cause blood clots. This medicine will cause X. Everything she had was a side. You have to understand she was healthy just 2 days or 2 weeks before. What's going on? And so finally they said, here we need, sign here, allowing us to have this surgery. I said, let me think on this. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, you would have thought that you went against the Pope. The doctor looked at me and said, in all my years of practice, nobody has ever said they had to think. This is an emergency. Your wife is on the brink of dying. He said, these are your options. I said, you've left out one option. I walk away. I wasn't being arrogant. I was just like, I'm just trying to connect the dots. Like, it just really seems weird that my wife's not healthy now, and she was healthy, and everything you've given her, these side effects are exactly what she has. And I remember we walked out of that hospital and we left every bottle of pill there. Blood thinners. She had like 5 different doctors. All these doctors were calling. You're gonna kill your wife. I'm like, it's our decision. It's not just my decision. It's our decision. You male chauvinistic husband won't let your wife get the care she needs. No, she doesn't want the care she needs. And I remember she was on death's door, right? Well, every day from that point on, she got better, she got better, she got better. We haven't been to the doctor since, and how old are you, Mark? 7 years old. Haven't been back. You're going to die! Listen, when my wife needs a doctor, thank God for doctors, but when she's not sick, don't be putting all these things in to make her sick. Yeah. The Bible says of this woman, she had an ailment, she needed the doctor, but then they just made it worse. She rather grew the worse. We see so many places where people go to the doctor and they suffer many things, they spend all they have, and they only get worse. There's times you need to prayerfully just say, Lord, what am I doing? Is this really the answer? Because of doctors. Now, don't go to the extreme. Remember the extreme on the diet? There's a balanced diet. Don't go to the extreme where there's no place for doctors. We only trust God. We're not going to go to the doctor. No, there's a purpose, and there's a time, and there's a place for doctors when you're sick. when you need that doctor. Thank God for them.